Hi, my name is Lynch-potter. I'm the host of the Mental Dietitian podcast, and I have my own business called Elysium Integration Coaching. I wanted to explain something today that I use with my clients all the time. Look at me trying to use my hands, get on camera. About the nervous system and about how it works, how things can build up, potential causes of anxiety, but in a analogized kind of way, if that's a word. My brain has always thought in analogies, and it's something that I've used with my clients that has had like a really great effect and has really been able to help people understand and give them kind of a mental scaffolding so they can apply some of the things they're feeling to their real life through a silly little picture. So this is what I draw, this is what I explain. This is where you were born. And this is where you are here now. This is where you are right now. And there's things emotionally that happen in our lives from when we are born to today that can cause big spikes in our nervous system. And if we didn't have the space or the love or somebody there, or just honestly the natural part of being a human being, is that sometimes these things can be such big spikes that it's almost like flooding a creek with too much water. We don't know what to do. And sometimes if nobody's there to teach us or to help us, we don't know how to do it ourselves, our nervous system can sometimes kind of blow, like flood the bank, so to speak. And then sometimes we're not quite the same afterwards. So I want to draw this that in this way that sometimes little things happen and then sometimes big things happen throughout our lives. And these things are just things that could happen. Some are big. Some of these could be capital T traumas, which is, all the standard stuff that people talk about: rape, abuse, alcoholism with the family, neglect, or the more nuanced ones that still are the same thing. I mean, if somebody's worst trauma is war and somebody else's worst trauma is a divorce, the person who's gone through a divorce does not know what it feels like to go through a war. So they may suffer the same way sometimes maybe not to the extent of it's severe PTSD, but they may suffer the same way because there's no hierarchy with trauma. There's no hierarchy. It's not like somebody's worse than anybody else. What is worse for you is the worst for you. What can happen is this: if you have never worked on any of this stuff, or you don't know how or whatever, this builds up to a number of different things. Could be anxiety, could be depression, could be addiction, could be, they're usually the big ones: anxiety, depression, addiction, being suicidal. Any state of psychological and mental suffering can be the symptom of not feeling these things. And imagine that your emotions are kind of like a stove. And there's a pot of boiling water, which is kind of your emotions and how it boils up. So let me do my best at drawing a stove. All right, we're going with electric. And maybe give it a little bit of heat. Okay, boom, look at that. Cool. So imagine you got a pot on the stove. That's the pot. Put some water in there. Put some water in the pot. So it's full of water, right? What happens, and this is what I explain to my clients all the time, is if you haven't had the space, had the tools, had the environment, your parents weren't good at talking about their emotions or whatever it may be, if you didn't have that, what happens over time is that these things start filling your pot. you start filling your pot. And when this starts getting a lot, it starts overflowing. This is reaction. This is where the term hurt people comes into play. This is your nervous system. If it gets overwhelmed, put an N on that, depression, there we go. So if this gets overwhelmed, it starts flowing out, and that's where maybe addiction is. Addiction is, I can't handle this feeling anymore because I don't know how to process this stuff within my nervous system. I have no idea. And I just need a break. I just need an escape. I just want to break from this feeling, which is this. That's why Gabor Mate says that, he says the drug is not the problem. It is the solution to the problem. That is trying to escape a feeling. Human beings are either moving towards a feeling or away from a feeling. And I use this analogy. This is just a basic analogy I use. I hope it helps you, but hopefully it can help you understand that we're all kind of a pot. And the goal, hopefully, and this is what I always say to people, the goal is to become a river, not a dam. So what's that in this analogy is cutting out the bottom of this pot. Doesn't mean life won't have hard things that will happen to you. Of course it will. People you love will die. You'll potentially go through end of relationships, end of friendships, business ventures or failed business ventures, or your pets die, or whatever it may be. But if you can become a river, which is you can let it flow, when these things inevitably happen in the future, it's not a culmination of everything that you've ever felt and haven't been able to process. That's why, like, a lot of my good friends and I, we've been through this, I'd say, between 3 and 7 year journey of really looking at these things. And I can confidently say I've caught up. I'm present here. This is where I'm at, right? I'm here. I'm aware of these things. It's not like these things have stopped having effect on me, but it's not deeply ingrained in my nervous system anymore. It's not unconscious. I'll feel it. I'll be like, oh, I'm a little scared about, I feel a little bit unstable right now, which reminds me of my childhood, maybe not feeling safe or not feeling enough or whatever that may be. So it's not like we get rid of these things. We're not trying to get rid of anything. It's just about becoming a river and letting these things flow by. And you can feel them and you can process them, but you don't hold on to them and store them. So that is why we should heal our nervous system, because it's so much better being a river versus being a dam. Hope this helped, and I plan on doing more with my new whiteboard that I just got. We'll see you next time. Bye.